This is Shay Veronica, and today is a day in Barbados history. Station Sergeant Oliver Jordan made a fatal mistake. They say he was a good cop, but he was too good for the Masonic place called Barbados. He was investigating the disappearance of Mark Stokes. Mark Stokes had evidence on a particular justice in Barbados. Mark Stokes had evidence on attorneys in Barbados. Mark Stokes had evidence of people that were members of the political parties, BLP, DLP, in Barbados. Mark Stokes was a man who had trump cards. He held parties and he recorded certain people doing certain things at the parties that they would not want released to the public. In fact, it is detailed in writings by Angela Cole that he had videotaped a judge in bed with underage boys. Masonic Island, Barbados, would want to keep that silent. So when Sergeant Oliver Jordan attempted to bring his case to a pivotal point, he's investigating the disappearance of a man who had tapes, who had evidence on the people who ran Barbados. There's a pyramid scheme, and these people are the 2%, the 1% on the top of that pyramid. And he is about to do what? To do what? To bring them to their knees? It cannot happen. It cannot happen in Masonic, and that's a nice word, is satanic type place called Barbados. It is not allowed to happen. So what did they do? They fabricated a story. And at the end of that fabrication, Oliver Jordan was dead. They killed him, okay? He is dead. The story about the disappearance of Mark Stokes went underground. The story of young boys being abused in Barbados by justices went underground. The stories of attorneys and the political members partaking in orgies and other type parties that are hush-hush went underground. Station Sergeant Oliver Jordan actually did himself a grave injustice, because for someone who should have known, he's homegrown, he was homegrown, and for someone who should have known what was up and what was not up, and what would be tolerated and what would not be tolerated, for someone who should have known where they were, he moved in a way that he thought that he could actually bring a judge to trial. He moved as though he can pull in members of the political parties for questioning. He moved as though he can bring attorneys in for questioning about the disappearance of Mark Stokes, a known gay person in Barbados. That's how he was moving. Well, Mark Stokes still unfinished business in Barbados. No one knows Where he went, you can only speculate, but he was never seen. Done, gone. Oliver Jordan paid the price. He paid the price for investigating and really getting to the bottom of things. You know, he knew why they would want Mark Stokes gone. He understood, and he was ready to finger people. So he's gone. While the whole shooting up was happening, his kids were like there in the house, maybe, you know, looking out the window, trying to figure out what's going on with our dad. You know, he had given himself up. He had, you know, laid down in the yard. What's going on with our dad? Well, when they were looking at that scene, one of them was shot in the eye. Seems as though his daughter was blinded. And his two sons, one carries his name. They both went on and they got their education, and they seem to have done very well despite the history of what happened to their father in Barbados. They're still around. They never left the shores. They never left. They're still there. So this is the story of Station Sergeant Oliver Jordan. He set out as a good cop to solve a case of a missing gay member of the Barbadian Society. This particular Mark Stokes had files on the top echelon in Barbados, and for some reason, Station Sergeant Oliver Jordan thought that he can bring a case against the 1%. That was his error. That was his fatal error, thinking that he can bring a case against the top 1% in a Masonic island known as Barbados. Today in Barbados history, this is Sherry Veronica.